Hello, hello, hello. Today I'll be going over the Tier 8 Russian heavy tank, the premium heavy tank I should say, that's coming out here in the tank caravan event. It's called the Kirovets-1. And this thing is a straight up copy of the IS-3 of the tech tree. There's a few differences, and one of them is obviously the armor layout. It has a armor layout pretty much like the Object 703-2, the double barrel Tier 8 premium heavy. But the gun retains the classic IS-3 gun with 221 pen, 1400 shell velocity. For some reason they ramped up the shell velocity through the roof on this tank with its APCR. The heat is 270 pen and 820 shell velocity, which seems, you know, like the good old heat that we know. But this APCR, oh man, it flies fast. Oof. And the HE is 61 pen with 790 shell velocity. It's moderately useful actually with 61 pen. I found it to crack few of these low armor tanks on the side and the back and the rear. The gun handling is the big thing on this tank. The IS-3 is notoriously bad for its gun handling, and this thing picks it up where it left off pretty much. It's a straight up copy of the gun on the Kirovets-1. The armor is the big thing though. That's sort of where the crux comes in. The IS-3, I'm gonna compare this tank very much to an IS-3. I was thinking of loading HE here, but I said screw it, do the shot. Maybe someone snipes on me on this Chinese wall map, the Empire border, whatever it's called. The crux is the armor. The IS-3 has kind of a weak hull armor, but it's you would say RNG. Sometimes you bounce a lot, sometimes you know, kind of thing. It bounces and such. This thing is more just robust hull armor. The turret armor it's okay as well. It's kind of good, to be honest. You have if you look at the turret of it at the top, you have two cupolas that you can kind of shoot, but it's like a little bit hidden. And here I get pushed a little bit, shoved a little bit, but we got the shot off. It has this like two cupolas where you have to hit not the side of it, but you have to hit dead center, kind of. And so it kind of works kind of okay. Hold on. Ouch. And here I did a major mistake. I went for the greedy shot on the Canaveral, and we got whacked hard. But thank God for the Object 257 on my left here, helping me out, peeking again, threatening. He took a nasty hit for it though, but we thank him pretty much. I could have been easily perma-tracked by the Canaveral and shot to pieces by the VC-120. And here we have a nice little torpedo play by the Burask, and I take my sweet time. As you can see, the aim time is horrendously long. For a new type of premium tank, this thing is it feels not new. It feels like an IS-3. I would say you only get this tank if you want to have a different armor layout of the IS-3, and then be my guest, get the tank if you can. And here we have a classic one of Tank's teammate moment. We thank him. That was a brilliant timing of his peak, of caring of other people around him. But let's talk even more about the armor. One thing that's not highlighted, that not speaks out, not shows, is the gun mantle. Around the gun, it's 210, I think it is, 200-ish. I was confused so many times where people just out-aim pen, because when the out-aim lands on the gun. So a lot of times people just pen the tank because they will be like, oh, well, should I pen this tank? I don't know. I out-aim fire, and then boom, they pen the gun mantle. And it kind of blows you away where you have this weak gun mantle coming off. The upper plate is actually 140. It says the turret is 195. But I wanna kind of dispute that. It says it's more on the IS-3. It's supposedly be a better turret than IS-3, because on the plate above the gun, you see a little bit here on the tank at the moment. That plate is not overmatchable like it is on the IS-3. I have not actually looked at exactly what type of overmatch needs for it, or if it can be overmatched. That's something I missed out. The top speed of this thing is a 42, just like the IS-3, but the other thing about the mobility that this thing has better than the IS-3 is the reverse. Regular IS-3 has 15, so it feels very sluggish when you try to go back. This thing has 20. I'm so surprised when you reverse with this thing how quickly you just get away. Which is kind of a nice thing though, to be honest. It was not one of the, it was not one of the things the IS-3 was lacking, I would say. I mean, yeah, the slow reverse was there, but it was not like, oh, it's making the tank bad. The standard dispersion, as you probably already seen a lot, it's all over the place. The standard dispersion is 0.43, and I don't know. All right, we took one for the team here for this Scorpion. But that dispersion is so bad. I am using here not a full view range build. I'm using the IRM and rammer and vertical stabilizer just to help this gun as much as possible. It has a little bit more hit points than a regular IS-3. Mine is at the moment 1600, just because I have full field modification up and running on it. I'm playing on the press account, so we got the fully maxed out crew in all kinds of sort. The gun depression is -5, which is okay, I would say. I mean, it works for this type of tank, but sometimes it really shows that the bad gun depression. But you got 18 gun elevation. So you can actually shoot upwards quite a lot. Oh, the shell cost for the heat shell, I forgot to mention it when we talked about the gun, is actually 5,200, which comes off as pretty high. I think it's pretty high. And another thing that's a little bit like an IS-3, it has the bad view range. Its standard view range is 360, so to get full view range you need to load up an optics on it. As we get here closer to the cap, the way you can do with this tank is you can kinda reverse, not kinda, but you can reverse side script with it, just like the IS-3. I think the IS-3 is a little bit better because you have a dead zone in the back, and a triangle in the back. Well, this thing does not have it, but you can still kinda sort of trick people to kind of go for that shot. When they go for that shot, they need to expose more, and that's when you come in and do damage. And side scraping frontally is like the IS-3, but it's not the same. IS-3 has a little bit worse side scraping. This thing, it kind of sometimes works, but not always. And let's see. All right, we got the last one here. We managed to clean it up. Ooh. But let's hop in to the stats. And here we got the stats of the game. We did 4,000 damage, 3 kills, 833 spotting. We take it with an ace tanker, roughly 1,540 XP, and we earned roughly 81,000 credits. But let's hop into the garage. And in the garage we're gonna go over the crew, equipment, shells, consumables, and field modification. The crew, it's a straight up regular IS crew, I would say, a heavy tank crew. You go not like mine crew, because it's on the test server. We go with 6 Sense, Brothers in Arms, Repair, Situational Awareness, and then Recon, just to be able to have some view range. But I think we go with the Repair before we go with the view range, just because we're gonna be blind no matter what. You could maybe take situational awareness before, just so you have full view range with an optics build, and I think that could be viable. The gunner, you go with snapshot, Brothers in Arms, Repair, Firefighting, or Deadeye, and then concealment as the last one. Depends how you want to build it. The driver, here we come to an important one. I would say smooth ride, brothers in arms, repair, preventive maintenance, then off-road driving, and then clutch braking. I think the preventive maintenance is a thing that's kind of hidden with the tank. The fuel tank pops a lot when you get shot in the side, and you will be side scraping, you will be reverse side scraping. It might be very interesting to have the preventive maintenance so your fuel tank doesn't spill over into the engine and put you on fire. The loader is straight up like always. We start with intuition, brothers in arms, repair, safe stowage, and then firefighting. You could maybe take safe stowage before intuition, but I think intuition is better for just the whole, just because we have 3 good shells. We have APCR, heat, and HE. We have high pen on heat and HE. And we have very fast APCR shells. So retract that. Pick intuition, then safe stowage. And as for equipment, I touched on it a little bit. We start with optics, the vertical stabilizer, and rammer. Just for the full view range build, for the second build, I would go with IRM, vertical stabilizer, and then rammer. This is just to have the gun being a little bit more okay. And no, we do not take the improved accuracy. It does not do well. For the shells, 50-50, 14-14-2. I don't see much difference. Maybe you have one build where you have a little bit more heat and one where you have a little bit more APCR for when you top tier and for your bottom tier. Maybe. But a 14-14-2, you're gonna go a long way with this. The consumables, it's standard. We have rations, medkit, and repair. The field modification, I picked this way. I started with all-terrain just for that faster. It really makes a difference. I noticed when you reverse with this tank. I don't know what it is. It just really caught me off guard. When you reverse, you go so quickly. So all-terrain, like always. And this thing, then we need to have a smaller aiming circle. We need that smaller aiming circle. It's just, that's how it is. And the extra view range here, the periscope, it's pretty good. And we assign the firepower one. So we help our gun handling that slightly more. To get some conclusion of the tank, it's a straight up IS-3 copy. The only difference is the frontal hull, I would say. Otherwise, you have an IS-3. And the penetration area is around the gun, and obviously here and here on the turret, on the cupolas. And you do not overmatch this. Not what I have seen yet, but I might be wrong. The frontal plate is sturdy. The upper plate is also sturdy, but you have a big surface area here where you can be penned, and also here as well when you peek around the corner, and also side scraping. So the tank in itself is an IS-3 that's been beefed up a little bit armor-wise. That's pretty much it. If you play the IS-3, you have played this tank. It's nothing new. It's nothing amazing. It's a below average of all the tanks. Maybe a touch on the bad. For some reason, I like the IS-3, but I don't like this tank. I don't know how to make sense out of it myself, but I do not like the tank. I think the tank is below average. But anyway, I have repeated myself enough. That's my little review of the Kirovets-1. Thank you so much for watching.